The Bible has some of the most, basically is the most ancient document in history that's been continually read, and it stayed in its form for 2,000 years. Um, the Dead Sea Scrolls and the Septuagint, crazy match. Um, the near 6,000 Greek manuscripts, some dating to the very early second century. The New Testament is the earliest and most widely attested to um, group of documents in all of history. These things were written down in the past, and we can go back and see even in more ancient past when we go back through the history, and I mean Deuteronomy through Kings, and then even further back with the first four books, to a primeval time where we see two creation narratives and the two flood stories that got combined. And this has come down to us through history. We can mark it, and many events that get described in the books of Kings we know take place because we found other inscriptions from their enemies talking about the same battles or the same kings, or denouncing such people, and they date to that period. This just means that the Israelites existed, and that the early Christians did too. We don't find anything like llamas in the New or Old Testament, or stuff that's from the New World. In the Book of Mormon, it was wholly written by one man who borrowed from all these other sources and stole and plagiarized, and talked about in the New World before Columbus there being cattle, horses, sheep, massive battles. Archaeology can find any battle that's ever taken place. They say at Cumorah there was the biggest battle that happened. They talk about the flora and fauna is completely wrong. So you can't measure. You can't say, "Oh, the Book of Mormon, the Bible is just as crazy as the Book of Mormon." No, 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 no. The Bible is a running chronicle of an ancient people, and then, well, that's the Old Testament, and then you have in the New Testament you have the emergence of this group, based around John the Baptist and Jesus Christ, continuing on with Peter and Paul, and going forward. And the New Testament canons vary. Sadly, the Mormon Church doesn't know that, or chooses to ignore it. But even then, we could see, go back to the early church, on into the post-Constantinian church, Byzantine, the Great Schism between East and West, then the Lutheran and Protestant Reformations, and the split of England. This all happened. The Book of Mormon and the books that the LDS Church has produced, like the book Pearl of Great Price, the Book of Abraham, these are all pure and whole works of fiction. They were not ancient mythologies or allegories for understanding the world like Genesis is. So, there's no comparison.